So today we're going to talk about ways that abusers try to silence their victims, and I want you to know that this is a safe space for victims. So if you come in here with intent to shame or victim blame or play devil's advocate for abusers, you will be blocked and your comment will be removed. No one will hear your pathetic little plea and cry. So let's talk about ways that abusers try to silence their victims, and be sure to subscribe. I do post videos on emotional abuse as well as domestic violence. I also post SA awareness videos sometimes as well. So let's talk about ways that abusers try to silence their victims. So one of the first ones is going to be isolation. When abusers are abusing, they try to isolate their victims because they often are aware that these victims are loose cannons. So they're doing something bad and they don't want to be caught. So they're going to try to quiet the thing that is going to speak about them, which is the victim. So to silence them, they will often encourage them not to be friends with people that they're friends with. I'm not talking about unhealthy relationships. That's one thing. When it's a healthy relationship is what I'm referring to. So if a victim has like a healthy relationship with their friends or their family, the abuser a lot of times will try to isolate them by either creating problems and starting drama and trying to interfere, or they will simply neg the victim and say, they texted you one too many times today. They're so annoying. They're so toxic. You don't want to be friends with that person. Like, they'll just make up reasons for you not to engage with people. And they do this so often that a lot of times the victim is just like, you know what, you're right. Even though they're not right, a lot of the time, the victim just gives into it because they're like, well, I just want to make my partner happy, and clearly my partner sees something that I don't. So another way that abusers try to manipulate their victims into being quiet is they try to guilt trip them. So they say things like, you know, we can't talk about this with other people because it's embarrassing for me. This is a private matter. This is something we shouldn't share with other people, and it makes me feel bad when we talk about it because I know I'm not perfect. Neither are you. You know, it's very much like just a way to silence them. Just try to make the victim feel bad. Another way that abusers try to silence their victims is they use gaslighting. It's a very common tactic. If you don't know what gaslighting is, I'll explain it. It essentially means making a person think that their reality isn't real. So gaslighting would be like, no, that didn't happen. That literally did not happen. Like, you're overthinking it. You're crazy. You're remembering it wrong. That just isn't quite the truth. You have a horrible memory. Those sorts of things. It's just trying to rewrite the narrative when the victim knows good and well what happened, but then it's like, do I know? They use that, the abuser uses that to silence the victim and make the victim feel like they can't talk. Because they're like, well, maybe if that didn't actually happen, then I won't talk about it because I'm not really sure. It's a tactic. It's a tactic. And another one, the abuser will use selective memory. The abuser will not remember these things. So selective memory is kind of the same thing as gaslighting. Like, just, like, I don't really remember that. I don't think so. Don't think that happened. Think you're crazy. It's a tactic. They remember if the police come and put them in handcuffs. They're like, yeah, I did abuse her. But to the victim, suddenly memory's not working. Yeah, you get what I'm saying. Another tactic that abusers will use to silence victims is they will use threats and intimidation and say things like, well, if you ever go to the police about what happened to me, I will spread nude photos of you, or I will tell everyone about that one thing you did that is a crime, you know, whatever that is, like if the victim even did something wrong, or like, I will tell people you were there when I was doing something wrong. You know, like, they just want to control in any way that they can. So if they have any dirt on the victim, they will hold on to that. They will hold on to that. And by the way, if anyone is ever threatening to leak your nudes, that is actually a crime. Not only can you press charges for that, you can actually sue for that. I know people that have sued for that and have gotten thousands of dollars. So just know that that's an option for you. Another way that abusers isolate their victims is they will actually use financial control, which is the same thing as financial abuse. Financial abuse. They will use that to further victimize and keep their victims quiet, because there are times that the abuser will, this is like layers of abuse. This is different layers. So this is obviously like a little ways into most relationships. But if you're in a situation where you and your person have a joint bank account, they might start threatening to remove that money, that, you know, your money that goes into it, or spend it, or do whatever with it, or not give you your money, you know, I want to say allowance, but it's your, you know, your money if you don't keep quiet. That is a thing that they will do, and it's disgusting. I've been financially abused. One day I'm going to come on here and tell my whole story. It's on TikTok, but yeah, I'm going to tell my whole story on here at some point, so listen out for that. And last, but I'm sure there are many more, and so definitely comment more things that I didn't mention, or things that you've experienced or witnessed or just have heard of happening in the comments below if I don't mention them. But the last one that I have today for you is shame. Shame, 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 shame. It's a tactic as old as time that people have used, especially towards women, to make us feel small, to try to control and manipulate us and make us feel like we can't talk about the things that we go through. But an abuser may say things like this is not something you want to tell people. Like, this is like, you don't want people to know about this. You don't want to be the girl that went through that. Like, people are just gonna laugh at you and make fun of you if like you tell anyone that this is what I did or this is what you've been through. I saw that influencer Kayla story when she was talking about her abuse story. She just put it out literally this week, and one of the things that her abuser said was that like people would just laugh at her and she would just be that girl. And she's just been so supported and so loved, and I'm just so proud of the DV awareness community for showing her so much love and her coming out. So again, subscribe if you want to see more content related to domestic violence awareness and emotional abuse, as well as occasionally SA awareness videos. I do put those out sometimes. And also make sure that you don't leave any victim blaming comments, because that will get you blocked and removed, and I hate blocking people that, you know, are just trying to learn. But if you think what you're saying is victim blaming, it probably is. And same thing with playing devil's advocate, because that is victim blaming in disguise, and we do not tolerate that. Also find me on other platforms, TikTok, Threads, Instagram. Yeah, bye.